And Michelle has mentioned her concerns about the current storage location in the past. She's been told that the plan was to build a cage in the current, in the museum to properly house the voting equipment. The new storage location with proper humidity levels would ensure that the machines continue to perform properly and last as long as possible, as well as fulfilling the terms of that contract. Testing, preparing, and servicing machines. So we traditionally have used the museum for taking care of all 38 of the county's machines, including testing the logic and accuracy of those machines, so the process that we go through to make sure that the machines are working properly and that the election has been coded correctly, as well as loading the election data onto the machines before each election, in addition to making repairs and performing scheduled maintenance on those machines. So a reduction in space would likely lead to an increase in the amount of time it takes to do all that work, and therefore costing the county more money. And finally, voters. Voters need enough space to privately make their selections, and placing those express votes too close together, either in front to back or next to each other, really affects the privacy of those voters. So a reduction in space would likely result in a reduction of machines that could be used in that space in order to maintain voter privacy. Another issue becomes the available electrical outlets in that smaller space would impact the number of machines that can be set up. Carroll County already has an issue with wait times for voters, and a reduction in machines caused by a reduction in space would likely increase the wait times for voters both during early voting and on election day itself. Finally, an ideal polling place is set up to have one entrance and a separate exit. This helps with the flow of traffic, but also makes it easier to monitor voters. Sometimes voters will cast or create their ballot on an express vote, think that they've already cast their ballot and that they can leave and take that little paper with them, when actually it needs to be placed into the tabulator for their vote to be counted. So having one entrance and a separate exit helps to monitor to make sure that those ballots are actually tabulated. So again, thank you for listening to our concerns about that proposed plan for the museum, and we want to help you guys get the full life out of your machines, get the most for the money you spend, and make voting as smooth a process as possible for your voters.
Thank you.
We don't do nothing today, well, we're down to the wire. Wow.
This doesn't include HVAC.
Yes,
Does it include HVAC?
yes, talked to him today.
How many figure?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
It's included in that figure?
Yes. Electrical and HVAC.
The level upgrade to home downstairs, you do that?
I do not have a quote for installing all the outlets around the outside of the voting area. That would be, I assume, extra. I don't know how much. I can't imagine a lot.
It says run circuit from the HVAC. Install. Condition investigation space.
And keep in mind, the voting area would have the radiator, the steam radiator still for heat, and their cooling system is still on, it's there.
How long did you say you think it'll take for the project to be finished, did you say?
Couple weeks.
After he starts?
Yes.
Couple weeks.
Yes,
I just have a question. At the last meeting, they talked, and everyone was in agreement that it was gonna take 3 or 4 months to even start on it. How now is it they can start in 2 weeks and be done in 2 weeks?
Depends on, it was, at that time, I don't think anybody really pursued hard enough than what they could do. I think this gentleman was willing to put some of the other work off to do this. It's true.
Ted, on a project like this, it's $120,000, you need to take bids.
no,
No.
it can be done as a maintenance project. It can be done as a maintenance, under maintenance, public works. I don't remember what the number is, but that's underneath it, for sure.
Well, I'm gonna, step on your toes, I'm gonna make a motion to go ahead and go with this plan of EPA down there at the museum, as long as the electrical is added for the clerk's office as she needs it. Cause this is the draw right here. There'll be no door, the door will be gone, it'll be a solid wall. And after this investigation, like Steve said, it can be used for other things. If we finally get the jail built, we got coroner's room and stuff like that down there, if needed, or we can just tear it out in 5 to 10 years if it, you know,
Goes with the prosecutor's office down there too, the 4 rooms in the courthouse. Just saying. Throw that out there. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but that's.
well, that's part of the, you know,
Yeah, that's, or probation, there you go.
14 feet. 14 feet. That's all it is.
If we
Something.
went to another facility such as that building, we would go, so we have expense there, and that's not on town property.
So if they decided not, if the chamber closes for some reason and we're out again.
Well, I know that he could say it is building.
No, we don't.
Then we don't have Pizza King too.
You could have.
Nick, you can serve pizzas on your break.
Hey, I worked there in high school, I can do it again. Not that one, I worked with the Greenies, but yeah.
That building would be big enough to house the,
Almost the whole courthouse.
corner, well, bunch. You could put, well, you could move the health department over there without any problem. Most health departments are not in the courthouses anymore. You could have the health department, you could have the, investigation room. It'd be bigger than this one, way bigger. Pardon me?
Come on. You got 5 miles to work, killing me.
That'd be big enough for that, but yes.
It would.
Just a couple things I've studied to think, and I'm not very bright on this, but you know, really, one of the things you need down there is a restroom if you're gonna do this.
Is what?
You need a restroom down there. You know, you're talking about ADA, well, the restroom's not 80, you gotta go up the steps to get to the restroom, no matter what you do. And then the second thing is, you know, if you decide to build this, when you have small rooms, you need taller ceilings. Now, it wouldn't be that much more if we're gonna spend this kind of money. You've got 2 ceilings, 14 foot. These other rooms is 10 by 12. You need to move those ceilings up to 10 or 11 feet to be able to get some volume in those rooms. 8-foot ceiling in those small rooms are gonna look really small. It'll go in the rest of the courthouse. You know, if we're gonna, you could go up 12-foot tall ceiling or 10-foot tall, I think
Well,
it'd
this
get a lot
thing's gonna
happier.
be accessed by the public. This is gonna be secured for the prosecutor and the deputies only are allowed in.
Yeah, but it's still, if you're gonna walk in this 10 by 12 room and say, oh, this thing's tiny. You wanna get volume, you raise the ceiling a little bit. But I really think the restroom's a key item. What are you gonna do for a restroom down there? Bring them clear in through here?
We have to go through the stairs into the main building to do that.
Yeah. Is that convenient?
Well, a lot of the offices don't have restrooms now. I think most of the courthouses use the restrooms that are public access to the courthouse. We don't have a restroom now in the investigation room.
Have to go downstairs to go bathroom in the city hall.
Cool rule, huh? Just don't fix that.
Yes,
Just throw one thing out at you.
sure.
The talk of the modular, double wide, whatever. One thing I thought about, and I don't know what Tobe or what Jeff would think, is if that was set next to the jail, and then Jeff and Krista have that lot across the street that's empty, right? You turn that into the parking lot that would be ate up by the modular, and then it's right there by the jail and has access to everything there. And it's on the main drag, so you've got more security from just people around.
I like that idea myself.
But that's,
I didn't know Jeff owned that lot across the street, Jim.
One behind Bass and Talbot, sir.
What?
The one run directly behind Bass and Talbot.
Oh,
Not across the street where the park, not
Not-
by the church, the one behind that.
right, right there next to that
I was
yellow house.
thinking, yeah, I was thinking
Yeah.
across the street.
I don't think the back is gonna be the issue. I don't think the back is the issue. Just whether we get into the courthouse to get in there. Putting that mobile over there is a decent idea, but then you're only gonna have it for 3 years.
Yeah.
Then you gotta turn around and come up with another 200,000.
And then you come up with, if you're renting, certainly you'll have to come up with another $113,000, $157,000.
it's amazing to me the prices that they put on those, because you find them
Everywhere.
everywhere used for $1,500, $2,000, and they look good. There's this. Did you make a motion?
I did.
What was that motion?
Made a motion to go ahead and deal with DK to do as they had planned, but to make electrical access for the clerk's area for the buildings.
And anything else that I need done, or is that gonna come out of my budget when I figure out what needs done?
We can figure
Because
out a building.
until I know what's going on, I don't know what I need, how I need the machines, I'm gonna have to have these guys come in,
Well, once
which
they
is,
move out of this room here, I think this room behind us can store the machines.
I'm not talking that part, I'm talking, I have to do the layout, I don't know how the layout's gonna go. So, ES&S will have to
He
come,
doesn't present a layout for it to be approved.
and it's $1,500 a day for them to come. So, I mean, today it's not costing me anything, but for them to come and figure out how that all is gonna be done down there, that's $1,500 a day. So, I'm not gonna have all of that money in my budget unless you're gonna,
Let's see, I don't think you ever used the whole room,
the whole room has been used for the last at least 5 elections.
well, they got the machines right here between the posts.
That's where the machine's set.
But you always, even though when I came in, I still came in through the south door and went in and out the south door.
You went in the south door and you exited the north door the last 3 elections.
I went out the south door both times.
Well, then you went out the wrong door.
I gave my ballot though.
You did not mind, once again.
Yeah, once again.
Well, I'm
I
just
think
as
he's
concerned
looking-
about the time of voting. If you
Yeah.
have to cut down machines, you're gonna have people standing for what, an hour waiting to vote?
Minimum, I mean, we have people now standing in line anywhere from a half an hour to 45 minutes, and that's with 8 machines. And then they're moving through, I mean, it's not, you know, you don't have someone standing at the machine for 20 minutes time, but some of our elderly voters, it might take them 10 minutes. Some of our younger voters that have never voted before, it's gonna take them more time. But our seasoned voters that have voted on them multiple times can be in and out in less than 5 minutes.
And during the testing process, the logic and accuracy testing process and loading the election, all that is all the machines for the entire county, not just the ones that are normally used at that vote center. So all 38 machines have to be set up in that same space to be, again, you run through the whole process, diagnostics, repairs, and like I said, just loading the election and things like that. Still
All
has to be,
38 machines have to be set up in that one room.
yes.
At the same time on.
But you said you didn't have enough electrical then, how do you have it to do all 38?
Well, I'm not here during
No,
that
no,
part,
so,
so.
so from my, and I apologize, I have not been here for that exact part either. But what I'm saying, what my point in my presentation was, if you reduce the electrical outlets for the, you know, in the space, then it will reduce the, available electrical outlets for during the actual voting time.
We're not gonna eliminate any electrical, we're gonna be adding to it if anything.
Okay,
To
well, and
make it
then, so
better.
right, so then it just becomes a matter of space, right?
Becomes a
And
matter of layout and how you wanna,
the space for the machines, the space for the testing of all 38 of those machines, and I would have to think back, I believe, I'm trying to remember how long it takes to test each machine exactly, but, the time it's space to be able to test all of those machines, load the election, repairs on those machines, all 38 at the same time, but then, again, privacy concerns for voters on
how
election,
much space do you need between each machine?
on election day.
Yeah. Just off the top of your head.
I don't know that there's a legal parameter, I can check into that.
Because we're gonna take that stage will be taken out. So you'll have 41, almost 42 feet on a new wall with electrical, so you probably put 4 or 5 there. Then you got 37 feet roughly, not including the stairs, on one wall, and you got 37 feet on the other side. So I
But
just
you've
think it's
got-
just a layout and some process work that
You
I
can't
don't
put
mean to
any
put on you, but
machines-
it's gonna have to be done.
The wall is going to be the new wall that's built, I do not believe you'll be able to put a single machine on that wall.
Why is that?
Because you have people coming in, the doors right behind those machines, and they can see the people voting.
No, there won't be no doors, there's gonna be a solid wall.
No, where the wall is being built, no machines can go up against that wall, because the entry door is here, so when they walk in to get ready to vote, they can see the machines. They can see how you're voting.
Can you just turn them around?
Yeah,
You can't,
turn around.
you can't, if
Turn
you
around.
turn them around, then
Because
you're
the
gonna
way you
have
had it
issues with
before,
all
if I
the
walked in
ports.
behind
If
them,
you
I
turn
could see
around-
what everybody else was doing.
Right, you can turn them around, but then you have the issues of the ports.
The courts use duct tape down to the floor.
I think if they put the electrical on that back wall that they're putting in, you'll be okay, you just turn around and plug them right in. On all of those, and add some extras to the post.
We may be able to resolve this even more by just working with, the contractor, perhaps he can put some outlets in the floor.
Yeah,
I have a question. Isn't there anywhere in the basement that can work for this room other than the,
Then we got the health department's got all their privacy down there.
there's several rooms down there. I mean, you've not considered that? or-
Well, we considered it, but it's just not enough space, and what are we gonna do with all the health department stuff?
Only the training room, where they've been, it's the only one
The
that,
training?
that's
Yes.
the only room down there,
We kick this horse down the road,
except for Mike's
we're 35 minutes
offices,
down
and
the
those are
road.
quite little, then you have, storage for clerk.
Doesn't Mike's office leave?
Want to make sure that was being considered.
There's something down there. I can't know what it is, but I remember it was flooded.
Actually, that's where Sharon's machines are.
It's,
Yeah, that's not very funny. I'm
it's not
sorry.
good.
It's not a funny
It's
matter.
not good.
But I think if Steve works with the contractor and works with Sharon, we can get this figured out.
Yes,
Like
so your
you said,
motion
we
to
can
be
always put him down there, we got these rooms up here. Later on.
Can you say your motion again?
Motion is to go ahead and accept the BK contract, put them in the, museum, and also add the electrical as needed for the voting center.
Okay, so that you're saying you wanna accept this estimate, not this contract?
It's not an estimate.
Or a quote?
It's not a quote.
You might consider making a room for the voting machines down there as well, per area, that would be something to be done.
Any other solutions or comments? We should be moving on this as soon as possible. I'll second the motion.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second to continue on with the, DK estimate here and move as quickly as possible on it, right? Right. Okay, so I would call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, aye. Okay, motion passed. Okay, next item up is other business. Anything else to come up? Yes, sir.
Just real quick, 38 in-house, 7 out of county for a total of 45.
Thank you.
You might announce your next meeting is on Tuesday, September seventh.
What?
Labor Day is
The
Monday.
meeting will be Tuesday, September the seventh, at 9 o'clock.
Okay,
To adjourn.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you all.
All right, we're behind on the drainage board meeting. You're more than welcome to stay for that one, it's just as fun as this one.
He
A
done?
lot of fun.